Hello all, welcome to my channel.
So our today agenda is SQL endpoint. So what is SQL endpoint? We will see. So SQL endpoint is nothing but here. It can be used to analyze the data. So SQL endpoint can create by default along with your lakehouse. So if you create any lakehouse is nothing but here one storage area, guys. So it means this is like your OneDrive or one folder, I can say, in Fabric. So where you can store all your data in the form of tables and in the form of the files. That is called your lakehouse. So to keep your data, we need one lakehouse. So we have to create that. We have seen how to create the lakehouse in our last class. So here, while creating the lakehouse, along with that lakehouse, one SQL endpoint will automatically create by default. In that SQL endpoint, we will analyze the data. So for example, it is like your SQL database. So in your SQL database, what you usually do, select star from employee table, like that you usually query the data, right? In the same way, we will query the data, whatever we have in the lakehouse, in table section, that tables we can able to analyze in SQL endpoint. We will see it in practically. Don't worry at this moment, even if you are not able to understand. So that we will see today. So if you remember, in our last class, we are there here in our lake house. We have loaded one file here, if you remember, target.csv. So I have created lake house here, and after that, I have uploaded one file here. If you come here under get data, we have these many options. Under this, I have used upload files. Upload files we usually use if your data is in your local machine. It means in your local computer. But in the real time, we will not use this upload files. We will use rarely this one, and we will use only data pipelines and data flow Gento and a new shortcut for bringing the data from different sources. So now I have already uploaded one file, target.csv file, to my file section. So if you see in Lakehouse, we have two sections here. One is tables and second one is files. So Lakehouse is nothing but it is a storage area where we can upload files and also tables. So it have two features. One is files and one is tables. Now I have uploaded the file here. Let me convert this file into table. Why? Because Microsoft can compress your data to the delta parquet format. It means even if you have 100 GB in your file, after converting that file into table, no, that 100 GB will compress into 1 GB, and it will form the table in the form of delta parquet table, delta parquet format. And why should we convert file into table means, at the end of the day, our goal is creating the Power BI reports to take the decisions, to make the key decisions on top of the insights. So to create any Power BI report, we need tables. On top of the tables only, we can able to create the Power BI reports. Even if you don't want any Power BI report, I can do only analysis on top of the data. In that case also, your data should be in the form of the tables. Then only you can able to do analysis. So that's why we have to convert. Even though your data is in the form of files, and that is coming from your data source directly in the form of files. After bringing that data in the form of the files to your lake house, we have to convert that file into table. So that's why here we are converting this file into table. So let me go here. If you click on three dots, now you will get this load tables. So till this point, I don't have any tables. If you see under tables, now I'll go here. I'll click on tables. So I'll simply click on new table. So the moment when I click on new table, it is taking your new table name is target. If you want to rename it, you can rename it target 123 like this. But I don't want to rename it. Let it be. And do you want to use header as the first row? Use header for column names. It means whatever the headers you have in your CSV file, that headers it is taking as your columns names. It means that is same taking as a headers. So yes, and separator is CSV. Since my table is in the format of the CSV, the separator is here comma. So do you want me to take separator comma? Because it automatically reading your file and you are loading that file into new table. Yes, I want to take separator as comma. Now I'll click on load. So the moment when you click on load, your file can be converted into your table. And file will be there. It remains there and you will get table also here. File will not delete here. So successfully created target table. Let me just refresh it under tables. So I got target table now. To my table section. If you want to see columns, here if you can just open this one, it will show all the column names also. So here this is the table and this is the data. I have month, sales, target, location and date. And here if you see left side now, this is the data type of the particular column. These are the columns in that particular table. So I have loaded one file to my lake house, and after that I have converted that file into table. Now, if you want to do analysis on top of this table, for example, then we can use SQL endpoint. So if you see here, if you drop down under this lake house now, you will get this SQL endpoint. So we have not created the SQL endpoint. We will see that also. If I go to my workspace here, under lake house, I have only created LH underscore lake house only. Item type also, if you see here, this item type lake house. It means I have created only lake house. But along with this lake house, here two items have been created by default with your lake house. Those are, one is SQL endpoint here, and the second one is semantic model. Forget about the semantic model. So the semantic model, we will discuss about this one later. Now, the SQL endpoint or SQL analytics endpoint can be used to do the analysis here. So this will automatically create by default along with your lake house. Now, if you want to do analysis on top of the data now, you can come to your workspace and you can open directly this SQL endpoint. Or if you are here in your lake house and if you want to go for the SQL endpoint, you can simply click on this drop down and click on SQL endpoint. So your SQL endpoint is loading here if you see. And the symbol, if you see, for the SQL endpoint, you are getting some dots, and for the lakehouse, you are getting some waves. Now I am here in my SQL endpoint. Now, if you want to do any analysis on top of the data, or if you want to query the data, come to your DBO. This is like your SQL server, guys, SQL database. That's it. So DBO tables I have. Under tables, I have this target table. I don't have any files here, if you see, but in my lakehouse, I have file also, right? In that file section, I have one more file, target.csv file also I have. But if you come to your SQL endpoint, it is showcasing only tables. It means your SQL endpoint can showcase only tables which are there in the form of Delta Parquet. So it is like a database. That's why it will only show tables. Whatever the tables you have in your lakehouse, that we can able to see here in your SQL endpoint. So this is my target table. Now, if you want to query the data now, simply you can take a new SQL query and the query window will open. Select star from this particular table. Just drag and drop here, or you can type also target like that. Now, if you can query it now here, it will show the data. If you see, this is my table. This is one way to query the data. Select star from employee table or any particular table. Even if you come to three dots here, new SQL query, select the top 100. Top 100 records, it will give you here in this query. So this is how you have to do analysis on top of the table. So here, for example, select star from employee target table, where, for example, month name, I have here month, right? Month is 1, 2, 3, like this. Date I have. So for example, if you want to query the data based on some where condition, for example, where location equal to Bangalore or where location equal to Mumbai, no, that also you can able to give here, so that it will give only that particular records. So like that, you have to do analysis on top of the SQL endpoint. Even here, you can able to create some views also. So views are nothing but here, I can say view is nothing but it's a virtual table. If you want to take a particular part of your table, or if you want to apply some business logic on top of multiple tables, and if you want to get the result, no, there we can create views also. So like this, you have to do analysis on top of your SQL endpoint data. This is SQL analytics endpoint.
Thank you, guys. If you have any questions, please post in the comments. I will try to give answers. Please do subscribe my channel and do remember, with the right data, every challenge has a solution.